the built environment. So even though we talk about climate change, there are many damages to the environment, many damages to the health of human beings, animals, or even plants and ecosystems like that. But there are some new opportunities emerging from the problem of climate change. Where there is a problem, there exists a solution and there exists a way for new development. So some of these are new and sustainable lifestyle, new pattern of consumption and production. Definitely, AI is going to play a major role in the climate change solutions and climate tech adaptations. Also, our human behavior is going to evolve both physically, mentally, and biologically. And also, we are going to enter into a education and skill development phase where interdisciplinary fields are going to play a major role, and new jobs and various new interdisciplinary fields are waiting in the Pandora box, and these are some of the opportunities that arises from the climate change. Every one of us must have seen this 1.5 degree Celsius number and 2 degree Celsius number. We all, everyone know the significance of this number, because 1.5 degree Celsius refers to the global rise in temperature, and 2 degrees Celsius also refers to the global rise in temperature. But these two numbers are to be met at different periods of our lifetime. So for 2 degrees Celsius means our Earth is the Earth's rise in temperature must be maintained below 2 degrees Celsius for a minimal damage. But to avoid the adverse impacts of the climate change, we definitely we need to meet the target of 1.5 degrees Celsius target for a global rise in temperature. Every one of us, each one of us know the problems that arises due to this problem: extreme weather, species degradation, water availability is getting reduced. Already we are facing water availability issues, and the Arctics and Antarctics, that is the polar regions, are melting, continuously melting. And one interesting fact is this yesterday UN has published a special report on temperature called wet bulb temperature. What the wet bulb temperature refers to? It means that it is a minimum temperature up to which our body can handle and regenerate and cool itself without any external agents. But the minimum temperature for this wet bulb temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. But the UN has predicted that this wet bulb temperature may cross 30 degrees Celsius within 20 years, that is around 2045 or 2050. But unfortunately, yesterday the UN report had published that the wet bulb temperature had already been exceeded, and it's around 31.2 degrees Celsius. And it's one of the major drawback of this climate change, and it's going to have a huge impact on the built environment also. Here you can see the majority of the global warming is caused by the energy consumption. The energy consumption is mainly around 18% from buildings, 16% from transportation, and around 24% from energy use in industry. The energy use industry and in buildings itself, it comprises of around 42 to 43%. So this part only this topic is going to mainly focus on. That is the energy use in buildings and energy use in industries, and also some industries related to construction industries, cement, chemicals, wastewater generation, landfills, all this comes under built environment. Here you can see there are various sectors. To have a 1.5 degree scenario compatible target, our global greenhouse gas emission reduction must be around 7% for a building sector, for around 7% for industry and 12% for building sector. So around 19% must be reduced for the global reduction in greenhouse gas emissions to meet the target of this 1.5 degrees Celsius. If not, then we will cross our pledges around 2 degrees Celsius and may reach above the 4 degrees Celsius threshold. So that's why decarbonization in built environment is one of the important factors for net zero transition. When I'm speaking about the decarbonization, the built environment, it refers to both the existing buildings and the infrastructure that is going to be built in the future also. So these two conditions are to be considered for this decarbonization. So during this process, we civil engineers only cannot handle the situation. We need help and guidance from almost all the inputs from all these sectors, including architects, environmental engineers, energy engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, instrumentation, chemical, biotechnologists, software engineers, policymakers, economists. Each one of them will play a specific role in decarbonizing the built environment. Only civil engineers cannot achieve this. So we need help from all the kind of people. When talking about the carbon in a built environment, there are two types. One is embodied carbon and the operational carbon. Embodied carbon refers to the carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas emissions that is produced during the raw material procurement, manufacturing of those raw material, and transportation of the raw material for a construction. And also during installation and construction process, these category comes under the embodied carbon. During the use phase, operation refers to the operational carbon, that is the energy usage, water usage, and also waste disposals during the operation phase comes under the operational carbon. And during the end of life, that is after construction and demolition, some waste are produced, and the carbon dioxide produced from this waste processing, disposal, and also during the transportation of these waste refers to the embodied carbon. So totally there are almost six categories of embodied carbon and one category of operational carbon. Majorly in India, the green building certification is done in operational carbon category only. Some factors and some indicators are only included from these product construction stages and end of life disposal. Not much focus is given on these other six embodied carbon types. Only the operational carbon is given focus, and in the upcoming days, definitely there will be many focus on this embodied carbon portion also, because it's almost consists of 80 to 85% of the carbon dioxide emissions from the built environment. So the main focus of this lecture is green building. Green building refers to the use of natural resources wisely during the construction and less water usage, optimize the energy efficiency, generate less waste, and provide a healthier spaces. Not only these definitions comes under the green building definitions, also the transportation of these raw materials and the one mentioned in embodied carbon also comes under the green building definition. So somebody has to certify that this building meets the parameters standards. So there are some agencies around the world and in our country also. Some green building certification programs in the global level is LEED, that is under the IGBC, WELL certification and DREAM certification. In India, majorly we focus on IGBC, that is the Indian Green Building Council and the Griha Council. IGBC is one of the oldest institution in India, which started in 2001, and they almost 90% of the projects in India currently are registered in the IGBC certification program. Griha also play a major role, but the number is very less. So talking about IGBC, the vision of the council is to enable a sustainable built environment for all and facilitate India to be one of the global leaders in the sustainable built environment by 2025. Today, almost the IGBC certification is done for 31 categories. Here you can see new building and existing building also, residential societies, that is apartment category, affordable housings, housing units, and also industries, factories, schools, hospitals, healthcare, resorts, restaurants, special economic zones of such as industrial estates are also certified for the IGBC certifications. Some focus is given on IGBC green interiors and also for service related buildings, some logistic park, infrastructure oriented business such as railways, MRTS, metro, airport, harbor, all these comes under this certification program. The latest one is IGBC Green Data Center. Nowadays, all these systems are automated and cloud system are playing a major role. Currently, India has some of the major data centers near the Chennai coastal regions and also in the Mumbai region also. These data centers are entirely run through renewable energies, and these data centers are certified by IGBC under green building category also. And some of the new additions to this are net zero energy buildings, net zero water buildings, green hill habitat, and IGPC nest. These categories are recent addition, which refers to almost net zero energy buildings means the energy consumption from the buildings is entirely from renewable energy, and net zero water buildings refers to the reuse and recycling of water, wastewater into the system of the building itself. Entire wastewater is recycled and used into the building system itself. And so these are the 31 categories under these special sectors: net zero, commercial sectors, residential sector, transit, built environment, education, and industrial sectors. There are 31 numbers. Here you can see today this data is the latest one. By 2022, IGBC had certificated around 10,700 projects for green building certification, and there are around 6,400 IGBC AP professionals, and there are 29 IGBC chapters across India, which refers to both the student chapters or special industrial chapters. This you can see 10.26 billion square feet of registered footprint is under green building movement. Before 10 years, that is around 2013, the same number was around only 1.7 billion square feet. It has increased by tenfold number for the past in the past 10 years. So you can know the importance of the green building revolution that is needed for our Indian infrastructure, and it's going to be one of the important sector in the future. So talking about green buildings, is this green building? The answer is it depends. Yes, at some cases this can be a green building. You might have seen the plants and mini sheds which are located on the balconies or windows or any special structures from the building or protruding from the building's exterior units. Sometimes it can be considered as a indicator in green buildings, but sometimes it is not. So it depends on the situation and the infrastructure we are focusing on. So the IGBC mainly focuses on 5 categories. It was built on the Panchabhuta principle, that is the earth, water, energy, air, and sky. And these principles refers to the sustainable sites, water efficiency, energy efficiency. Air refers to the indoor environmental quality, and sometimes the outdoor environmental quality also is included in the IGBC rating. And the sky refers to the daylight and night sky pollution, and some lighting, natural lighting also included in the key rating areas. Here you can see 4 certification level starting from platinum, gold, silver, or certified region based on different rating indicator numbers. So the buildings are rated on a scale of 100, total scale of 100. Around the basic score which is required to get the certified category is 49 to 50, and it goes on increases up to platinum. Platinum refers to one of the global importance building in the green building sector, and gold refers to the national importance buildings in the green building sector. And so like that, silver and certified also have a similar importance. Speaking again, this is the main area of focus of the rating systems: water consumption, handling of consumer waste, energy efficiency, reduced use of fossil fuels, reduced dependency on virgin materials. Virgin materials refers to the use of some fossil fuel materials or highly embodied carbon materials in the construction of those buildings. And some building materials and resources also needs to be accounted for this purpose. Health and well-being of the occupants, that is the indoor environment, is also accounted. So now we are going to focus on each category and what are the indicators which is to be scored under each of these category. And here you can see the market potential of green buildings in India is around US $300 billion, and some of the material replacement or equipment replacement that needs to be followed in green buildings are usage of high performance glass, fly ash blocks. Currently, the fly ash blocks are replaced with AAC blocks, wall and roof insulations, high albedo roofing materials. Albedo refers to the high reflective surface materials. Like a perfect example is the white paint is a high albedo roofing material, and use of low volatile organic compound paint with paints, adhesives, and sealants. Some carpets are also certified as green. Some wood material and eco-friendly housekeeping chemicals. For example, that the ones we are using for cleaning the bathroom, toilet, or mopping the floor itself, there are some chemicals that needs to be used eco-friendly, and these usage material is also considered as a indicator in this green building certification programs. And some of the IoT systems are CO2 sensors, wind tower, water zone, root zone treatment systems, or water treatment plants. Nowadays, waterless urinals are being used for reduced water consumption, and energy simulation, energy monitoring devices are also used in the green buildings. So these are the, now I'm going to focus only on the indicators, not on the importance of the indicators. Different indicators have different importance and different scores. And so I'm not going into very detail. The first one is the sustainable architecture and design, which consists of 3 credits, and the site selection and planning. Almost the site selection and planning is the major area where majority of the indicators are counted. The local building regulations, soil erosion control, basic amenities, usage of low emitting vehicles. For example, in office environment or colleges or institution, business commuting and office commuting is one of the important factors, and these the emissions from these vehicles are also considered for the IGBC certification programs. Some other indicators are transplantation of the trees which we fell, cut, and replace it and preserve it in different places. Heat island reduction, outdoor light production reduction, and universal designs. Some green building guidelines and basic facilities for construction workers during the construction process. Here, one of the important factors is the heat island reduction, that is non-roof category and roof category. So what is heat island? Urban heat island refers to the formation of heat dome due to the close proximity of buildings. Majoritarily, the urban areas, that is the city region, will face this urban heat island phenomena. But in village sites or rural sites, this phenomenon is very much low. Definitely, city or the major results of the urban heat island. Definitely, we cannot avoid this heat island formation. Only we can reduce the impact from the urban heat island, and it is done in 2 categories. For non-roofing area, provide shades with open structure, or in the road environment also. Instead of using bituminous surfaces, these bituminous surfaces are very much low, so very much heat absorption materials. Instead of that, paving materials with low solar reflectance index can be used, and also tree shades can be also used. The other system is roofing systems. Either we can grow plants on the top of the building, such as terrace gardens or some green plants. And today there are some plant species which is very much focused on the green building initiative itself, and those are used mainly for this purpose only. And the option 3 is the usage of 2 options, that is mixing the non-roofing area category and roofing category also. So some of the options that are available now for reducing the urban heat island is these options. And the next one is, all we know is water conservation. Some credits are credits and indicators are voluntary basis, but some credits and indicators are on mandatory requirement, such as rainwater harvesting, roof-based water harvesting, water efficient and plumbing fixtures. These two indicators are mandatory requirement for getting the certification, and these indicators are voluntary basis. Here you can see wastewater treatment and reuse, water metering, management of irrigation systems, landscape design, all comes under the water consumption. Today, waterless urinals are used in the restrooms to reduce the water consumption, and fixtures like this sprinklers systems or spread systems are used, and also water metering, both involving the IoT, that is the Internet of Things, sensors, all connected to a central server, and it is monitored, and based on this data collected from these systems, the water flow and water quality is also maintained. This not only reduces the water consumption, but also enables us to reuse the wastewater for further usage in the flushing systems or even in the air conditioning systems also. Some of the wastewater treatment plants now in use are these. This zero liquid discharge treatment plant is one of the latest important process in wastewater treatment. This refers to converting almost all the liquid is converted into a solid material, and these solid materials are recovered for other chemicals or disposal or other resource recovery. Almost 99.9% liquid is removed from this process, and many office buildings, institution buildings are getting into this zero ZLD systems, that is the zero liquid discharge systems. Coming to the major part of this decarbonization is the energy part. So energy efficiency has a direct impact on the greenhouse gas emissions, and also ozone depleting substances plays a major role in the energy part. These three categories are mandatory requirements, the other are some voluntary basis. Some of them are eco-friendly refrigerants, and also usage of renewable energy, both at the onset and offset, same as water metering, energy metering, and management systems. Here you can see the on-grid solar systems, and specifically with reference to AC air conditioning units or refrigeration units or cooler systems. Today, this 410A refrigerants and 134A refrigerants are being phased out since they have a high global warming potential. So what is a global warming potential? For example, 1 ton of carbon dioxide, its release means this 410A category of refrigerants is equivalent to almost 2088 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. It's so much highly carbon dioxide potential category. So nowadays, these highly global warming potential category of refrigerants are being replaced with the R32 one. R32 has a low global warming potential, which is around 68 tons of equivalent of carbon dioxide emissions. In numbers, when we speak, the ACs that we are, for example, consider a 1 ton AC. The 1 ton AC, which is using the R410A refrigerants, is almost 400 times more potent to greenhouse gas emissions than the ACs using R32 refrigerant unit ACs. So every one of us, we know the energy rating systems in ACs or electrical equipments, lighting systems, almost all the electrical equipments comes under the energy efficient rating systems. Or there is not much difference between the power rating 3 and power rating 5. It depends on the equipment and the size of the equipment. For ACs with around 1 ton to 1.5 ton, both the rating 3 and rating 5 category ACs almost consume the same power, but the difference is the operation and the usage of these refrigerants. This play a major role in the greenhouse gas emissions. Another one is the building materials and resources, usage of segregation of waste post occupancy, and usage of sustainable building materials, organic waste management, handling of waste material during construction, and also some certified green building materials, products, and equipments. These are considered for scoring purpose. And the first one is a mandatory requirement. Nowadays, the interior partition wall, that is some prefabricated structures are also used. Instead of that, bioorganic based bricks are also coming. That is the mycelium bricks, which is mycelium is a special category which is of a family of mushroom, and the mycelium culture is prepared from the mushroom, and it is mixed with some of the construction waste, that is a C&D waste, and this is made into some blocks or into panels, and all sometimes also sheet structure also. This is going to play a major role in the future in the interior built environment, specifically for partitioning or also some tables or chairs. All the structures can be built using this mycelium bricks. Surprisingly, the green building certification also include the usage of shipping containers for construction purpose. For example, this building, every one of us, some of might know this building. This building is famous music director A.R. Rahman's studio, and this building you almost 85 percentage it's constructed from the shipping containers, and it's a IGBC certificate building of gold category. So IGBC also encourages such kind of buildings also. And regarding the indoor environmental quality, there are two categories for mandatory indicators. One is the minimum fresh air ventilation and no tobacco smell. So tobacco smoke control systems must be employed, and some voluntary basic indicators are CO2 monitoring, daylighting, outdoor views, minimize the indoor and outdoor pollutants, low emitting materials, occupant well-beings, indoor air quality testing, and both at the construction stage and after occupancy also. Each indicator has a different importance level and different rating is given. For example, in this picture, you can see already there is a 3 window systems in the room, but to have a cross ventilation systems, another 2 exhaust systems or window is framed above the doors, and this allows cross ventilation, so air can enter easily and pass out easily, and there will be a continuous flow of fresh air. For example, this building is a NCMS research building in Anna University. This is a IGBC certificate, platinum building certificate building. Here you can see almost the building has 80 to 85 percentage reduction in the sunlight entering from the atmosphere in one side of the building. The other side of the building is fully exposed to the natural sunlight, and the light in this building, the the lighting systems is provided by the natural lighting only. So there will be less energy efficient, less energy consumption from the lighting systems, and also here you can see there are natural ventilation systems in almost every places. It also reduces the energy consumption from AC units or fans, and this leads to the less greenhouse gas emissions. And the final one is the innovation and development. Innovation and development is a voluntary basis credit mechanisms. The 4 process are innovation design process, optimization in structural design, wastewater reuse during construction. The one which is mentioned in water conservation is wastewater reuse during the occupancy period. So there is a difference between these 2 indicators. And the final one is all these rating systems or certification is to be done by a IGBC accredited professionals, and The last part majorly focuses on some of the IGBC buildings around India, and this is everybody, some of us may know. This is the Bombay House, that is the Tata headquarters in Mumbai. It is one of the oldest building, around 150 years. It got renovated and it got a IGBC Green Building certification of Platinum category. And this is the only existing building in India which that is mainly focusing on a building which has a very high much age, around 150 years old. High heritage values also considered for this process. And our famous Anna Sanitary Library, it's also a IGBC certificate building. It's a gold rated building. And this one, the one at the Omadura Government Hospital, it's also IGBC certificate building. And this building has a, first it was planned as a uh, assembly building for Tamil Nadu government. So the record created during this construction was, this was the first assembly building in India that was to get the IGBC certificate rating certification. And recently, you must have seen the new Parliament building for the India, and the new Parliament building is also certified for IGBC platinum certification, and also LEED certification also done for that building. Famous one, Ramapuram DLF. Everyone of must have seen that. The L&T construction, all the offices inside the L&T constructions and the DLF campus is IGBC certificate buildings, and many of the buildings in the IT sectors, that is in the Siraseri zones or EMR, sorry, ECR and OMR, all the buildings are certified for green building certifications. And this one also you must have known, the one, this one at Gudwanjiri, that is the Zoho headquarters. Not only Chennai, the green buildings are certificate given, but the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, office buildings, institutions are also getting their green building certification. One perfect example is the Cognizant campus at the Coimbatore, and this one is a real estate township. It's the second township in India to get green certifications. This is also in Coimbatore only. And the first airport in India to get the IGBC certification is in Delhi Indira Gandhi International Airport. Almost within 2 to 3 years, all the major airports in the country and also the tier 2 and tier 3 airports will be certified with IGBC, and the energy requirement will be met from the renewable energy systems for around 80 to 85%. So it's one of the major milestone in this green building certification programs. And that's all. I'm ending with conclusion note that all these certification are not to be only for namesake purpose. Every industries, every cities or every buildings are continuously monitoring, and it needs to be, the license needs to be renewed for a specific time period for each category of buildings, so that only then only the buildings can be certified with these green building lines. And also some benefits, indirect benefits are also available there in this green building certification systems. For example, mainly in IT sector, the foreign clients, the ones in abroad, are majorly focusing on industries or companies which mainly focuses on sustainability issues. So they get projects. These kind of certification is one of the important factors, and it's going to play a major role in the foreign exports, and also for India's forex reserves. And these are some of the indirect benefits. So I conclude my lecture, and time for questions. Any questions? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Ah, it's over.
Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with us, sir. The session was very informative. And now it's the time for quiz. I request the participants to log on to the website.
Participants, kindly open your and type the URL www.kagu. Join with your original name. Thank you.
Okay, let me start our quiz session. I hope my voice is audible to everybody. Everyone, open your browser and type www.kakut.it and enter your game pin as 2067821 and enter your nickname. I repeat the instruction again. Everyone open your browser and type www.kakut.it and enter your game pin as 2607821. Only 2 participants are joined. Let me wait for some other people to join. Okay. 4 participants are joined.
Sharmi, you can start.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, let me start our session. And your first question is, what are the global rise in temperature that needs to be met for maintaining the carbon level of pre-industrial level? Your options are 3 degrees Celsius, 2.5 degrees Celsius, 1.5 degrees Celsius, and 2 degrees Celsius. 11 seconds only left. Okay. 2 members are answered correctly. Let me move to the next one. Now Balaji is in the first position with a score of 734. And your next question. What are the Indian-based green building certification? Your options are LEED and GRIHA, LEED and IGBC, GRIHA and IGBC, IGBC and WRI. Only 4 seconds only left. Okay. 2 members are answered correctly. Again, Balaji is in the first position with a score of 1284. IGBC rating is done based on which principle? Your options are Sustainable Development Goals, 5 Element of Nature, UNFCCC, UNEP. Only 30 seconds left. 1 member's only answered. Okay. 2 members are answered correctly. And in the scoreboard, again, Balaji is in the first position with a score of 2006. Which one of the following project is not included in IGBC rating system? Your options are green building certification for existing building, net zero water for cities, green building certifications for schools, net zero water. Only 9 seconds left. And time is running out. Okay. And in this question, the answer is net zero water for cities. Again, Balaji is in the first position with a score of 2006. We move to the next one. How many modules are there in IGBC rating systems? Your options are 32, 21, 33, and 43. I repeat the question. How many modules are there in IGBC rating systems? 32, 21, 33, and 43. Okay. We move to the scoreboard. Again, Balaji is in the first position with a score of 2006. And your next question is, when was IGBC started? Your options are 2004, 2003, 2002, and 2001. 3 members are answered. Only 30 seconds. Okay. 2 members are answered correctly. And in the scoreboard, again Balaji is in the first position with a score of 2006. How many grades of IGBC certifications are there? Your options are 5, 4, 3, and 6. I repeat the question. How many grades of IGBC certifications are there? 5, 4, 3, and 6. Two members are answered correctly. Now, Anushya is in the first position with a score of 2071. And your next question is, which grade of refrigerant has low GWP? Your options are R22, R410A, R134A, R32. 3 members are answered and only 8 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 members are answered correctly. We move to the scoreboard. And now Balaji is in the first position with a score of 2707. We move to the next one. For how many credit points rating is done? Your options are 200, 100, 300, and 250. I repeat the question. For how many credit points rating is done? 200, 100, 300, and 250. Okay, 3 members are answered correctly. Again in the scoreboard, Balaji is in the first position with a score of 3311. And your last question is a true or false question. Is shipping containers are acceptable for IGBC certifications? And what is your answer? Either true or false. Only 12 seconds left. 2 members are answered and the time is running out. Okay. 5 members are answered correctly. Now we move to the podium. In the podium, and the third place goes to Akash, and the second place goes to Anushya, and the first place goes to Balaji with a score of 3,838. Thank you.
The winners are requested to enter the Gmail IDs in the chat box as it would facilitate the management to provide them certificates. I'm grateful to the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and efforts in making this event a great success. I also extend my sincere thanks to our honored resource person and the heads of the departments of Civil, Mechanical, CSBS, Cybersecurity, Humanities and Science, CSC, IT, ECE, EEE, AIDS, AIML. I once again thank everyone for making this event a great success.